The cloud.
We are recording to the cloud, ladies and gentlemen. The cloud. Yes, we're up
I
in the
have news
sky.
for you, Simone. It's not a real cloud.
It's not a real cloud.
It's just a server somewhere.
You know what? When I'm on a plane and I always look up and I'm like, where's that cloud that I record to? Is it you? Is it
It's
you? Is it you?
you look full of data. Maybe it's you.
And then we fly through it. Anyway, welcome to Choice Change in Action podcast, ladies and gentlemen. You're with me, your host, Simone Milasas, and you are with a very, very good friend of mine who I haven't had on here in some time, considering, it was like nearly every second show at one stage, Mr. Christopher Hughes.
That's me, still Mr. Christopher Hughes, still one of your greatest friends, and you're one of my greatest friends. And here we are today on the cloud to talk about clouds.
Exactly. So that's it. Clouds. So precipitation. What do you remember from geography? No, I'm kidding. Kidding, not kidding. Okay, so I asked Chris what I wanted to do is this podcast is coming in December, which is obviously when you're listening to it is now. And I'm going to do a little bit of a plug for something. Is I have I guess it's like a whole set of tools, etc., that you can have, and it's called 12 Days Till Christmas. Guess what? It's starting 12 days before Christmas. And there's one energy pull I have on there and a call live with me, but there's a whole bunch of gifts and all these different things that you get. So that's great. That's going to be in the show notes. But here's the thing. Someone I work with who um, does my social media, I really love it when they say, what'd you choose this for? And this morning I went, what did I choose it for? Is I find around this time of year, some people have great families. Good on you, okay? And I find around this time of year is that a lot of the times people start to have that sense of being alone, fucked up. I'm not doing the right thing. I haven't done what and they start to judge themselves and go a lot into the negativity and the sort of depressed thing. And you're supposed to be really friggin' happy, right? Like one of the first Christmases I ever had at Gary and Dane's place, I'm sitting on the stairs. It's like being a wonderful Christmas Eve. Everyone is kind and generous and just amazing. And I'm sitting on the stairs and I've got tears in my eyes and like those gratitude tears where they start to roll down my face. And Gary found me and he looked at me and he went, "Are you okay?" And I went, "This is what Christmas is supposed to be, isn't it?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I'd never had that and that energy. And it was so phenomenal. And then quite a few years ago, probably at 10 years ago now, I was in Japan and I was having a pretty shitty time. And so instead of going into depression and shitty time, what I did was I made videos. And I made videos and I put them out on social media, like of access consciousness tools to use. Because I was like, if I'm like this, who else is like this? Right. So that's why I'm doing the 12 days to Christmas. That's why I'm having these podcasts in the month of December to go, guys, you got this. Like, what if what you're aware of, oh, yeah, you are aware, could be something entirely different? So I wanted to bring my friend Christopher Hughes on here because we were talking about basically you're not as fucked up as you think you are. And some of the tools that you can use and how you can navigate this in this month of December. So Chris, tell me a story about like what's Christmas historically been like for you, like your whole
Mm,
life.
Probably not that Hallmark movie fairy tale idealized thing that we think it's supposed to be.
Mm,
Um, I have a pretty interesting history with my family. Like the way I grew up and how I grew up wasn't exactly fairy tales and lollipops and unicorns. It was pretty rough at times.
mm,
And I am only just starting to realize how deep some of the ramifications of that are, or how long I've carried some of the different issues, or not even issues. How do I put this? Um, when you grow up a certain way, you come
mm.
to you make assumptions about how the world works and who you are and what is okay for you. You know, like you were talking about being at Gary Douglas and Jane Here's house for Christmas and going like, "Oh, this is what it's supposed
Is
to
this what it could be? Yeah.
be." Yeah. But when you that's not your reality, you grow up thinking, "Oh, well, this is what it is. This is what it's meant to be." And
Yeah.
that doesn't have to be the case. I don't really have like a hardcore story of like what Christmas.
Then can you make one up? No, I'm just kidding. No, I wasn't. I wasn't meaning that. It was just sort of like this, like, okay, how has it been for you? Like, you do have a very colorful upbringing, right? And you also, you were in Canada, Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, no, what is the place that you grew up in that sounds like vagina?
Regina, Saskatchewan.
Oh, Regina, Saskatchewan. Okay, there you go. It's such a good name, Regina,
Mhm.
Saskatchewan, right? And then how you've chosen to be, even how you've chosen to be in the last 5 years around Christmas. Let's talk about that. Like, what tools have you used, and have you found yourself just going, oh, this is not what I'd like it to be, and what could I choose to make it be something different?
Well, I guess that's all it, right? It's choice. Like for me, the difference between me and everyone that I grew up with and everyone that I knew was I always took ownership of my life and had the agency to go, you know what? No, I'm the author, I'm the director, I'm the producer, and I'm going to do this. And
Mhm.
I have a psychologist that I see fairly regularly because it's honestly, I think I see a psychologist so that there's someone who'll just listen and they don't like necessarily like she's great and she does give good advice, but sometimes I'm like, oh, you just listen. It's awesome. But one of the things she said to me this morning was she said, do you know what? The way you grew up and in your life, you have never been the protagonist of your story. Your whole life through your relationships and your family has always been about taking care of other people and giving to other people and making their needs more important than your own. Um, and when she said that to me, I was like, whoa, that is true. It is. And at the same time, I have come from difficult circumstances and gone, no, this isn't going to be mine. Like, I have a brother who's 50 years old who lives in my mother's basement, smokes a packet of cigarettes a day, and drinks a carton of beer a day. And that's kind of his whole life. And his point of view has been, oh my God, life's hard. Look how hard done by I am. Nothing else is possible. Whereas from the same circumstances, I was like, nah, let's go. No matter what, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna create. I'm gonna have the life I want to have. So yeah, things like Christmas this time of year, I love it. Like part of the gift of me is generosity, and I love having beautiful friends around that I can give gifts and cook for and spoil with great booze and drinks and activities and make it fun because even if you didn't grow up with that fairy tale, I think you can make it if you want it.
So what is some, if someone's listening to this now and just going, yeah, that's okay for you, Chris, because as I find people have this as a reason and justification and they don't actually choose. If you were choosing at Christmas, it's like, what's a couple of tools that you would gift someone?
Well, I'm a big fan of theft. So
Mhm.
what I mean by that is I if someone has an idea or a thing that they do or a tool that they use, I steal it. I always
Mhm.
give credit, but I steal it. And you're someone that I steal from. And
Okay, what'd you steal from me?
one thing that I've heard you talk about that I love
Mm.
is you talk about having your pit crew.
Yeah.
And you talk about like the people in your life or the things that you have in your life that take care of you, because no one else is gonna. So
Mm.
you organize this for yourself. And whether that is your hairdresser and your massage therapist and your psychologist and your favorite facilitator of whatever modality you love and your bestie that you can always call to have a beer with, like that circle around you that is there to take care of you. In today's world, we love to talk about self-care, right? And we talk about like taking time out to have a massage and la la la. I think you need to integrate that into your whole life and not make it like a special treat and occasion. It just needs to be part of the things that you prioritize so that you are the protagonist in your life. You are the person who is a priority and gets taken care of. So for me, that looks like a lot of different things. I have my personal trainer. I have my membership at a private club here in Brisbane. I have all of the different things that I do. And again, I can hear people out there thinking, yeah, all of this costs money. You'd still You can do this to whatever level is available to you now. And I am willing to bet you $5. No, I'll up it. Inflation, $50. I'm willing to bet $50 that if everyone out there started to make this a priority at whatever level they can,
Mm-hmm.
their wealth would increase. Because you're telling the universe and you're telling the world, hey, I actually deserve this. I don't need to come last, and everyone else, my kids, my my partner, everybody else has to be who I prioritize first. If you don't prioritize you and give to you first, or at least include you in the computation, nobody else is going to. So that's number one. Number two, and one of the reasons why I love this season is I have created wealth for myself through generosity. Generosity has been one of the ways that I have created more for me because by being willing to gift to others as well as myself, again, it sends a message.
Mm-hmm.
Universe is a mirror. It gives you back whatever you tell it you want. And if you tell it, I want to live in a world where we're kind to each other and generous to each other and include ourselves and are kind to ourselves, you reap what you sow. It will occur. So those two, to answer your
Okay. I wanna add to these as well. I love your first one as well, and that you stole it from me, the pit crew thing. Yeah, I find pit crew all over the world too. People who are such a contribution to me and my body in different ways. And I could hear that people going, oh, but it all costs money. Hey, you know what? A major player in my pit crew is the earth. It's like when I'm here in Australia, my house, it's like I live across the road from the beach. I love, like, I don't even have to walk on the beach. I can go for a walk on the beach, but you can just go there. You go for a swim, put your feet in the sand, and then you have the water run up all over your ankles, etc., and how your feet just keep digging deeper and deeper in. That's one of my favorite things to do, and just look out at the ocean. And guess what? That's free. There's another place just really locally that I discovered actually in 2020, and I like going hiking from there. If I leave from my home back, return, it's about an hour. And I used to do it like in an hour, under an hour. And now a lot of the times it'll take me like an hour and a half or 2 hours because there's these big, beautiful rocks when you hike. And I could hear the rocks going, hey, 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 come sit on me. And I'd be like,
Mm.
really? It's like, come sit on you and look out at what can I smell? What can I see? It's like, you're not just your five senses. It's like, what else is going on? And I always get such a download of a different possibility, like really being in that question of what else is possible when I'm out hiking. I like doing it with people, but I also really like hiking on my own. So you don't need anyone for any of those things either. You get to choose if you want to go hiking with someone or go to the beach. And the second thing, um, gosh, what was the second thing you just said? Because I had something I wanted to add to that
It was
too.
about generosity.
Oh, yes. Gary Douglas said about 25 years ago to me, if you have a generosity spirit, the universe will gift you back at least 10 times. And I was like, what? And I also went to, oh, that means money. You must give money. And over the years, I've discovered two things. One, Gary lied. Yeah, he lied. It's way more than 10 times. It's way more than 10 times. And generosity is not just money. It can be money, it can be gifting something, but it can also just be, as you pointed out, Chris, the kindness that you be. Like like I was out the other day doing, different things, errands and whatever. And there's a few people I interacted with. I had to go to a justice of the peace, which is like a notary, and get some stuff signed. And it's a volunteer thing. So I did that. And then I went into the shop and, bought a couple of things. And I came back out and I just walked over to the ladies. They weren't with anyone. And I said, ladies, I would just really like to thank you. Thank you for volunteering here, and thank you for being here, and thank you for being available. And you could see that they were like, oh, not many people just stop to say something like that. And I just, in those 3 or 4 hours that I was out, I kept just engaging with people in a different way because it was fun for me and it was joyful for me and it was just me being me. But you can, like, that sort of energy and how you be out there in the world is a ripple effect that we literally have no idea what shows up and how this shows up. It's like, what if you could choose? What if you could choose kindness around this time of year to the most random of people, not just to the people who are your family and friends? What if that was a demand of yourself and a request of the universe?
Absolutely. Like, as Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. Yeah, my version of that is live the way you want the world to be. Like, I'd like to live in a world where we're kind and generous
Mm,
and include ourselves. So that's how I live. Like, I offered a friend something not that long ago, and it freaked him out. And he said, "Well, I can't repay that." And I went, "Oh, I don't care.
mm,
I'm offering it to you because it would be fun." And I said to him, said, "Have you ever opened a bottle of wine with a friend and shared it?" And he went, "Yeah." And I said, "Did the wine taste better?" And he went,
mm,
"Yeah." I went, "Yeah, that's," and I said to him, "That's the world I want to live in."
mm.
And to your point earlier, like you were talking about, the planet. Like one of the things that I did today that like really resonated with me and is part of that self-care for me is I went to the pool. I know you don't love swimming laps, but I do. My pool costs 75 cents because they make it cheaper during this time of year.
Mhm,
And to me, swimming is time out, just me and my body. And not only is it exercise, but it's a meditation for me.
mm,
Doesn't work for everybody that way, but for me it is. And that's the kind of like prioritizing me, giving me the self-care and enriches my life. And it's not about the cost of it.
mhm.
I just wish people didn't go to that as a reason and justification for why they can't have things.
Well, one of the things that we've been talking about a bit lately is what problem are you using to create the entertainment of your life so that you are not bored? So a lot of people will create a problem with their body, their relationships, their business, their money, etc., so that you can entertain yourself. Like if you literally had no problems, what else is possible? And over the Christmas period and for the rest of your friggin' life, I'd love you just to play with this question, like, but really ask it, what else is possible? And it's not about going, what else is possible with money? Because that's more of a demand. Every area of your life, just be with it for a moment and be with that energy of it and ask, what else is possible here? What else is possible with what else is possible with everything that can show up? And as you were saying, like, dear universe, thank you so much for everything you've shown me and what else is possible. Like, let's bring it on. And how much do you stop it, negate it, avoid it based on you think that you'd be bored if you had no problems and you had everything in life?
Mm,
What if you gave up the entertainment of this reality and started finding out what it's like beyond this reality and also to outcreate yourself, like every day? What would it take to outcreate you today? Everything that you chose today, everything you chose yesterday, ask to outcreate that energy, outcreate the joy, outcreate the ease, outcreate everything. So you have more show up because we tend to just go to this place of finding, going, "Oh, this is it." Nope, that's a conclusion rather than like, "This was cool. Damn. Okay, now what else is possible?"
mm.
Truly playing with that.
It reminds me like a little while ago, I was at El Lugar in Costa Rica, place both of us hold near and dear. Amazing spot in the middle of Costa Rica. Really, really special. Look it up, El Lugar. And I was having a conversation with another guy who's probably on your podcast a lot, Dr. David Kubis.
Yes.
And he was saying how for him at the moment, he's like, I have a pretty cruisy life. Like I have everything that I need and I don't really have problems. I could kind of coast along with what I have right now as investments and income and be fine. But it's not really what I desire
Mm,
as a future. It's not really the life I want to create or the impact I want to have in the world.
that, that.
So yeah, like I would love for me and everybody else because I love what you started talking about resonates a lot with me right now. I've been looking at that for myself. Like in my life, relationships has definitely
Mhm.
been my favorite poison. My chosen source of struggle has been that. Um, and if you didn't need a problem
Mm.
to motivate you to change or to entertain you because you're bored, as you're saying, then what? Like I look around the news today and what politics is feeding us as like a diversion from what's really going on, right? And like I had a sister who was trans, who I loved very much, and they chose to commit suicide. So I do have a bit of a vested interest when it comes to trans, like any of the news and politics around that. But I look at what is being talked about and I go, this is such a small portion of the population. Why are we spending this much time, energy, and resources talking about this, fighting against this, when instead we could be creating for something else? It's like this idea you're talking about of boredom
Ah,
and I think also it's like a diversion. Like
yeah.
politics loves to do, look over there, so that we're
Mhm.
not actually addressing the real issues. Like, if we really focused our efforts, our attention, our awareness as a community, as a race, as people, we could be so beyond the
Yes.
petty shit we fight about.
Yes, 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 yes. And personally, it's like that's a big demand I have in my world. It's like we have to change the way, and I say we have to change the way we think, and I don't mean that as in like we have to change the way we think, like out there, it's just like what like I'm noticing since we were in Costa Rica and El Lugar, I'm noticing the things that I cared about. I'm like, oh, I don't really care about this. And we briefly mentioned money, and money comes up a lot in people's worlds around this time of year as well. And I woke up this morning and I was looking at, okay, it's never about the money. And I looked at all these different things that I choose because sometimes I'll make it about the money and I go, oh, the money, da da da. And I'm like, it's not about the money, it's about the energy. And it's about like the significance, the form, structure, and significance around money. Because it doesn't matter if it's $10, $100, $1,000, 10,000, whatever, whether I'm paying this or gifting this or the other way too, like receiving it, like all the flows, when there's a point of view that shows up, it's a it's about the energy. It's never about the money. Like there's so many things that I would just go, yep, like this, or yes, receive this, yes, da da da. So I started looking at how many people choose to entertain themselves around money so that they can have, the structures around money. They can have the order around money. They can make it significant. They can make it meaningful. They can like create the diminishment of their life rather than the fuck yeah, let's explode into something different and never about the make it about the money, but receive money, like have money, learn to have
Hmm.
it. Like your friend that was like, oh, I can't do this because I blah blah blah. Reason, justification to keep your life as normal, average, and real as everybody else. What if now is the time that you went, you know what? No, not choosing that. I'm actually going to receive, have a generosity of spirit. It could just be smiling at someone. I notice how much I choose to give to people when they're being them. Like I used to have a stepkid, and one of the things I used to say to him all the time was, dude, when you be you, I'll gift you the world. But when you're being a little asshole, I'm like, I have no desire to gift you anything. And it's the same thing about like if you're growing up, like out there in the world, you be you, the universe desires to give to you, like you said,
Hmm.
Gandhi quote, you know?
And you have to actively refuse it.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to another friend. I have a lot of conversations with friends. I'm a talker. I'm a yapper, as they say today. And I was talking to this guy about, the different people that we've tried dating in our lives and their problems with us. And I realized so many of the people that I've tried to date refused me because I was too kind to them. And I had for so long, such a big part of my life, made myself wrong for that and gone, oh, there must be something wrong with me that somebody can't receive me.
Mm,
And I was talking to this friend and I went, hang on, had they been willing to receive from me, I would have changed their life. And they didn't want it. That's not
mhm.
about me.
No, it's not personal.
Mm-mm. It's all what we're willing to receive. So you actually have to push it away
Hmm.
when the universe
Yeah.
wants to care for you and gift you what you're asking for.
And let me give you a story about this. I'm pretty sure you know this story, Chris, but I don't think everyone else in the podcast does. Anyway, many years ago, Gary said to me, "Hey," because I was like looking at like who I wanted to have sex with and blah 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 and all this sort of stuff, and he kept going, "Why do you want to have sex with that person?" I was like, "Because they're blah blah blah." They were usually like, good looking and an asshole. It's like they were going to judge me and my body because that's what I chose, right? Because then it matched the judgments that I had of my body, and I could maintain those judgments. And he said he would point people out to me, right? And there was this one guy, he said, "You know what? If you have sex with that guy, you'll find out what it's like to have sex with someone who's kind." And so I did my homework and I did. And this was in America many years ago when I was living in Santa Barbara. And I'll never forget the energy of him and everything. And then in the morning, we woke up and I said to him, "Can you give me a sec? I've just got to go make a quick phone call." And he was like, "Sure." And so I walked out of the house and just down the end of the driveway, and I rang Gary and I said, "Gary, you have to help me." And he said, "Why?" And I went, "I want to fucking kill him." And he said, "Why? What's going on?" I said, "He's so kind, I want to kill him." And I was smart enough to acknowledge and recognize what was occurring. And was not and could not and had no idea how. I didn't know how to navigate this kindness and receive it. And it was just there, simply just there. So we'll forever be grateful for this guy. And then I went back in, I was like, okay, but that started to break down something in me where I went, oh, maybe actually I deserve kindness. Maybe I can receive this and I don't have to reject it and I don't have to avoid it and I don't have to surround myself by judgment. I can actually ask for kindness, receive kindness, and be kindness. It was
Mm.
such a different choice. So I forever thank you to that gentleman out there in America. So,
Mm.
so, Mr. Christopher, thank you for being on here. Is there anything else that you would like to leave the listeners with?
Well, we started talking about you're not as fucked up as you think you are, and I think that's really it. Like you have to work hard to have a problem, and you have to work hard to have a problem with you.
Yeah,
Could you please, out there, anybody, give yourself some grace and
yeah, breathe. Yeah, yeah. And listen to this again and look at the tools like if like when Chris said surround you, like what is your pit crew? What is
Mm,
that for you? It could, it could be flowers. It could be like going like smelling beautiful foods or something like that. Like it could be the indulgence of foods, or it could be the indulgence of nature or anything. And it could be things that quote unquote cost you money. But what if you were worth it? And what if your choices over this period of time extended not just for here, but for the entirety of your life? Because
mm.
you're not as fucked up as you think you are.
Nope. You
Yeah.
deserve everything and more. You deserve everything you're willing to let yourself have.
Boom.
Mm.
There we go. Mic drop.
Bam.
So, Mr. Christopher, thank you so much for being on here, my friend, my treasure. And I wish you a very Merry Christmas. And everybody out there listening to this, have the best time ever. I will be at Elugar with a whole bunch of people. Every day, there's like more and more people coming to Elugar. It's really cool. So, I went there because I was like, well, I want to spend Christmas with my horse, Pluma. And there's all these people coming. So, I'll have horses and some really cool beings there. So,
That
yeah.
that's so awesome. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, me too. It's like, what are you choosing? I know you've got a few things in
I'm
play.
choosing the beach here in Australia. I've got a whole crew of like some of my favorite people on the planet all coming here. Some from Korea, some from just like locally in Australia, like Sydney, and just that.
Love
Just
it.
friends, food, being wet and slightly drunk.
I'll be wet and slightly drunk too.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. I fucking adore you. Thank you for being here. And guys, everything we spoke about, including links and stuff like that, will be in the show notes. Please share it with your friends and just have way too much fun. What if the purpose of life and the purpose of Christmas was to have fun?
exactly.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye, guys.